what if the key to a truly fulfilling life isn't really about getting more, but maybe about understanding what you already have and, how your mind shapes everything?
Mm-hmm.
Today, we're kind of cutting through millennia of ancient wisdom to uncover some surprising, maybe even counterintuitive truths about human nature, happiness, and, well, how to truly thrive.
Right, especially in a world that constantly pulls us off course.
Exactly.
For this deep dive, we're drawing from these really profound ancient teachings. They offer timeless insights into human nature, our conduct, and the actual path to genuine liberation.
Okay.
So our mission really is to unpack these texts. We want to extract the most important nuggets of knowledge to help you understand what truly leads to fulfillment, and just as importantly, what hinders it.
Offering practical frameworks, then,
Yeah.
for living a more mindful life.
Precisely. Frameworks for a more mindful and impactful life.
Okay, so let's unpack this. We're starting with a really fundamental blueprint. It's about understanding our own relationship with happiness and suffering, right? Apparently laid out by the Buddha before his own awakening.
That's the tradition, yes. He posed these three foundational questions about the world.
Okay, what were they?
First, what is the gratification in the world? The Pali term is asada.
Asada, gratification. So the pleasure, the happiness we get from worldly things.
Exactly, what draws us in. But then he immediately looked at the flip side.
Which is?
What is the danger or fault? The word is adinava.
Adinava, danger.
Mm-hmm. And this isn't just about, external threats. It's the inherent impermanence, the suffering, the constant change that's embedded in everything we tend to cling to.
Right, things don't last. They disappoint.
Oh.
Okay, and the third?
The third question, crucially, is what is the escape?
Nisaran.
Nisaran, escape. How do you get out?
Essentially, yes. It points to the removal, the abandonment of desire and lust for worldly things.
So it's an internal escape, not a physical one. Exactly. And the texts explain that fully realizing these three truths, the gratification, the danger, the escape, seeing them as they really are, that was the key.
The key to enlightenment.
Yes, to achieving ultimate enlightenment, leading to what's described as unshakable liberation of mind.
Unshakable liberation. Wow.
And the understanding, this is my last birth, there is no more renewed existence, the end of the cycle.
So what does this all mean for us now? This isn't just ancient history, is it?
Yeah.
It sounds like a blueprint for understanding our own lives.
It absolutely is. These aren't just ancient words. They offer a practical lens for modern life. The asada is the allure, the thing that pulls us in.
Right, the shiny object.
The adinava is the trap, the impermanence hidden inside that allure.
The catch.
The catch, exactly. And the nisaran is the exit strategy, the path to truly letting go. So if we connect this to the bigger picture, it raises a really important question for all of us. How do we, in our daily lives, actually start to recognize these elements? The allure, the drawbacks, and that potential for detachment.
How do we see the pattern in our own experience?
Mm-hmm. That the Buddha identified as so central to existence.
It's a profound framework. It makes sense then that beings stay attached because there is gratification, right? There's pleasure there.
Of course, it feels good initially.
But then they become disenchanted because there's danger. There's that enava.
The suffering becomes apparent.
And the key is they can escape because there is a way out, the nisarana.
There is a path. It's not hopeless.
But until they truly understand all three aspects, they just stay entangled.
Caught in the loop.
But with understanding, the texts say they become released, disjoined, freed, living with a mind without limitations.
A powerful description of freedom.
It really is.
Yeah.
And it follows that only those who deeply comprehend this gratification, danger, and escape are considered, true spiritual seekers.
Mm-hmm. They're the ones who actually realize the purpose of their spiritual journey, right here, right now, in this life.
And this wisdom doesn't just stay theoretical, does it?
Yeah.
It extends directly into our conduct, our behavior.
Absolutely. The teachings highlight what's considered unfitting in what they call the noble discipline, the path of spiritual training.
Unfitting, like what?
Well, for instance, crying is seen as wailing. Dancing as a kind of madness, excessive, big toothy grins and laughter that's seen as childish.
Interesting. So it's not about suppressing emotion entirely.
Not necessarily suppressing, I think, but about recognizing behaviors driven by maybe uncontrolled attachment or heedlessness. It's about the source of the behavior.
Okay. So what's the alternative?
Contentment in the Dhamma. That's presented as sufficient for genuine joy.
Dhamma, meaning the truth, the way things are.
Yes, the universal truth or law that underpins reality. Understanding how things truly are and living in harmony with that, that's the source of real joy, not these fleeting, uncontrolled expressions.
This next insight actually challenges a lot of our modern ideas about satisfaction, I think.
How so?
These ancient texts point out specific things that, no matter how much you pursue them, they offer no lasting satiation.
Ah, right. I know what you mean.
Sleep, alcohol or intoxicants, and sexual intercourse are named as three things that just never ultimately fulfill. You can always want more.
There's no endpoint of enough.
Exactly.
That really encourages some critical thinking about our own habits, doesn't it? Our perceptions. What do we chase after relentlessly, thinking this time it'll satisfy, only to find, nope, still wanting?
Still empty. Yeah.
The path to liberation suggests a totally different approach. It prioritizes inner tranquility, awareness, over that constant external chase.
And that inner tranquility, that awareness, it all starts with the mind, right?
Absolutely, the mind is central.
The source material uses this brilliant analogy comparing the mind to a house. It really drives home the importance of a guarded mind.
Oh, the poorly roofed house analogy. Yes, that's a powerful one.
Explain that one.
Well, imagine a house with a bad roof. The peak, the rafters, the walls. They're all unprotected, so rain gets in.
Leaks, rot, decay.
Exactly. Decay inevitably sets in. And similarly, an unguarded one that's not mindful, not restrained, leads to unguarded actions.
Unguarded speech, unguarded thoughts.
Right. Corrupted, rotten actions of body, speech, and mind. And this, the texts say quite starkly, ultimately results in an unfortunate end, a bad destination.
But the contrast is just as stark. A well-roofed house.
A well-roofed house where everything's protected, secure. That's like a guarded mind.
Okay.
And this leads to guarded, uncorrupted, unrotten actions of body, speech, and mind, which results in a good passing away, a fortunate destination.
It's such a direct illustration of cause and effect. Our internal state, the state of our roof, has these really tangible external consequences.
It really makes you think, doesn't it? How often do we consciously check the roof of our own minds? How often do we think about how our actions, even the subtle ones, are rooted in these fundamental drivers?
Drivers like?
Well, the teachings clarify the roots of karma, or intentional action. The negative actions, they explain, stem from just three things, fundamentally.
Which are?
Greed, hatred, or aversion, and delusion.
The big three.
The big three. These are classed as unwholesome, blameworthy, they lead to suffering, and they just keep the whole cycle of action going.
Okay, so that's the leaky roof scenario.
Yeah.
What about the well-maintained roof?
The positive actions, they're rooted in the opposites. Non-greed, non-hatred, and non-delusion.
Makes sense.
These are wholesome, blameless, they lead to happiness, and they actually contribute to the cessation of suffering, stopping the cycle.
It's like a very clear moral compass for navigating life built right into the system.
Precisely. And the texts also explain how desire itself, craving, acts as a fetter, like a chain binding us.
How does that work?
It arises when we dwell on things, past things, future things, even present things, but in a way that's connected to lust and craving. That dwelling creates the fetter.
So the path to breaking free.
It involves understanding the consequences of those desires, actively making an effort to avoid them, and ultimately abandoning them through wisdom, seeing them for what they are.
So if our minds are like these houses and our actions have these roots, what about the people living inside? How do these teachings help us understand ourselves and others on a fundamental level?
They actually do this by categorizing individuals based on their mental qualities, describing how measurable they are.
Measurable. How?
Someone who's easily measured is described as restless, arrogant, fickle, talkative, scattered-minded.
Okay, sounds familiar.
Unmindful, undiscerning, unfocused, agitated, and with uncontrolled senses. Their inner state is kind of transparent, reactive. You can sort of read them easily.
Okay, and the opposite. Difficult to measure.
Those are the ones who are not restless, not arrogant, not fickle, not talkative, not scattered. They have established mindfulness. They're discerning, focused. Their mind is one-pointed, and their senses are restrained.
Much more composed. Less reactive. Harder to gauge from the outside.
Exactly. Their inner state is far more contained.
And is there a third category?
Yes. Then there's the truly immeasurable individual. This is the arahant.
The fully liberated being.
Correct. Someone who has so completely purified their mind that they're no longer bound by any mental residue. No greed, no hatred, no delusion left at all.
So their inner state is immeasurable because...
Because they operate beyond the conditioned patterns, the reactivity that define ordinary individuals. There's nothing left to measure in that conventional sense.
That's a profound distinction, especially when you think about what you said earlier. Even reaching incredibly high meditative states isn't the ultimate goal if your understanding isn't complete.
Exactly right. The text described these very advanced, formless attainments, states of infinite space, infinite consciousness, even nothingness.
Sounds pretty high.
They are. A common person, someone without that deep wisdom, can achieve these states, but...
There's a but.
There's a but. Upon exhausting the lifespan, the karmic force that allows them to be in those states, they can still fall back to lower realms, potentially.
Wow. So even that piece is temporary.
It highlights the profound difference between temporary peace, however blissful, and that ultimate unshakable liberation we talked about.
And the noble disciple.
A noble disciple, one who has fully understood the Dhamma, the nature of reality. They attain final liberation, parinibbana, in that very existence. No falling back.
That really encourages critical thinking about the quality, not just the intensity of our spiritual or mental achievements. What's the foundation?
Precisely. Is it built on true understanding or just temporary skill?
The teachings also go into detail about what they call failures and accomplishments, don't they? Across 3 areas.
Yes, it's quite systematic. Morality, mind, and view. It's about a complete transformation, not just surface stuff.
Okay, so failures in morality, what does that cover?
That's the basic ethical stuff. Killing, stealing, sexual misconduct, lying, divisive speech, harsh speech, and idle chatter. Gossiping, time-wasting talk.
The standard precepts, basically.
And when those are coupled with failures in mind, like covetousness, wanting what others have, or ill will, wishing harm, or failures in view, holding what's called a wrong view, like denying cause and effect, denying the results of actions, or the existence of different realms of existence.
Denying reality as described by the Dhamma.
Then these failures combined are said to lead to less fortunate future existences, lower realms.
And the flip side, the accomplishments.
Naturally, it's the inverse.
Yeah.
Accomplishment in morality means abstaining from those negative actions.
Sure.
Accomplishment in mind means cultivating non-covetousness and non-ill will, generosity and kindness, essentially. And accomplishment in view means holding right view, a correct understanding of reality, of karma, of the path. And these lead to more favorable future existences, heavenly realms.
It's a very clear framework of ethical causality.
Yeah.
Actions have consequences based on the state of your morality, mind, and view.
Very clear. And the texts also detail different forms of purity, Salsiani, that are essential.
Purity.
Yes. There's purity of body, which is basically accomplishment in morality, abstaining from killing, stealing, sexual misconduct.
Okay.
Then purity of speech, abstaining from lying, divisive speech, harsh speech, idle chatter.
The same ethical conduct again.
Right. But then there's a deeper purity of mind. This involves more than just non-covetousness and non-ill will.
Wow.
It involves recognizing the presence or absence of what are called the 5 hindrances.
Ah, the hindrances. Sensual desire.
Sensual desire, ill will, sloth, and torpor, that heavy, dull feeling. Restlessness and remorse, the agitated mind, regret, and skeptical doubt. Uncertainty about the path.
Okay, so purity of mind is knowing about these 5.
Knowing about them, yes, but crucially, knowing how to abandon them when they arise and how to prevent them from arising in the future. That deep understanding and skill is key for true mental liberation.
That makes sense. It's not just avoiding bad thoughts, but actively knowing how to cultivate clarity.
Exactly. And this connects to monk-like qualities, or maniyani. Purity of body and speech are similar, but the monk-like mind is defined by the ultimate achievement. Mind liberation and wisdom liberation through the total destruction of defilements right here in this life.
The arahant state again.
Precisely. That's the pinnacle of mental purity.
So how does this all play out in, practical terms? In daily life, in community?
Well, this brings us to wisdom in action. How these principles actually apply. There's a great analogy about receiving alms, for instance, or a common practice.
Okay.
Imagine a monk receiving food alms. If he receives it with attachment, maybe thinking about the pleasure of the food, or even with thoughts of ill will.
Like annoyance or judgment.
Perhaps. The texts say this makes the act of giving unfruitful or less fruitful for the person who gave the food.
Wow. The receiver's mind affects the giver's merit.
According to this teaching, yes, the intention and state of mind are paramount.
So, the mindful monk.
The monk who receives mindfully, seeing the potential danger and attachment to the food, thinking thoughts of renunciation, I eat just to sustain the body for the path, thoughts of non-harming, that makes the giving greatly fruitful for the donor.
It's a powerful illustration of how our internal state, our intention, transforms the impact of even simple, everyday interactions.
It really is. A profound perspective on intention and its ripple effects.
And what about community, how we relate to each other?
The teachings paint a very vivid picture here, contrasting discord with harmony. Imagine a discordant community.
Okay.
Monks quarreling, contentious, stabbing each other with sharp words, it says. They've abandoned positive thoughts like renunciation for negative ones like sensuality and ill will.
Doesn't sound like a pleasant place.
It's described as a place uncomfortable to even contemplate, let alone live in.
And the harmonious community.
That's where monks live in Concord. Amiable, without dispute, like water and milk. Mixing easily. They regard each other with affectionate eyes.
That sounds much better.
Much better. A place truly conducive to well-being for everyone involved. It's a clear demonstration of how our collective mental states directly shape our shared environment.
So the internal shapes the external, individually and collectively.
Consistently. And the Buddha's own teaching style emphasizes being very specific. It said he teaches by direct knowledge, not without it.
Based on experience, not just theory.
Right. And with reasons, not without reasons. It's logical, understandable, and with miracles. But here, miracles usually refers to the transformative power of the Dhamma itself, the profound shifts in understanding it creates, not necessarily, walking on water.
The miracle of transformation.
Exactly. Not without them.
So this isn't about blind faith at all. It's presented as a path that is knowable, logical, and experientially transformative.
That's the clear message. It speaks to the verifiable nature of these teachings. You can see the results.
There's even a story, isn't there, about different types of teachers?
Yes, illustrated by an interaction the Buddha had with someone named Haran Kalama. It highlights different levels of understanding.
How so?
Well, apparently there were teachers back then. Some only really understood sensuality, the realm of sense pleasures. Others understood sensuality and formed the nature of the physical world or meditative states related to it. And some understood sensuality, form, and feelings, the way feelings arise and cease.
Different depths of insight.
Right. And Kalama apparently claimed all these teachers ultimately reached the same goal. The Buddha disagreed.
Why?
He highlighted that while teachings might overlap on the surface, the extent of understanding and the actual liberation achieved could differ significantly. Not all paths lead to the same final destination, according to this.
Depth matters. Completeness matters.
There's also that really poignant story of Hathaka.
The divine being.
Yes, a deva. Even living in a celestial realm, seemingly happy, he still yearned for more.
More than heavenly bliss.
He yearned to see the Buddha, to hear the true Dhamma, and to attend to the Sangha, the community of practitioners.
That really highlights an unquenchable thirst for deeper wisdom, doesn't it?
No
matter how comfortable your current state might seem.
It suggests that true fulfillment lies beyond even heavenly pleasures. It lies in understanding.
There's another analogy that's quite graphic. The rotten monk.
Ah, yes, vivid, isn't it? This monk is likened to a wounded animal soaked in the smell of raw flesh.
Okay. Unpack that one.
The wound is said to represent covetousness, that grasping desire.
Right.
The raw flesh smell represents ill will, that negative hostile energy. And the flies attracted to this wound and smell, they represent unwholesome thoughts buzzing around.
So a monk with uncontrolled senses, overcome by greed and ill will, attracting negative thoughts.
Is considered far from ultimate liberation. It's a stark image, bringing to life the real dangers of an unguarded mind.
The sources also mention specific causes for women, particularly, to fall to lower realms.
They do. It links it to 3 mental states dominating different times of the day.
Which are?
Stinginess or avarice, particularly strong in the morning, envy, arising around midday, and sensual lust, prominent in the evening.
It really reinforces this idea of continuous, moment-by-moment mental cultivation being necessary for everyone.
Absolutely. And it's not just beginners who face obstacles. Even those with advanced meditative powers aren't immune.
Like the story of Anuruddha.
Exactly. Anuruddha had advanced meditative abilities, the divine eye, But the Venerable Sariputta, one of the chief disciples, helped him see that he still had hindrances.
Even with those powers, what were they?
Conceit, subtle pride in his attainments, restlessness, mental agitation, and remorse dwelling on past mistakes. These were blocking his final liberation.
And realizing that helped him.
Yes. By understanding and abandoning these subtle hindrances, Anuruddha was then able to achieve full arahatship. It's a great reminder that self-awareness and purification are needed right up to the end, even at very high levels.
This gives us such a rich tapestry of wisdom, from personal ethics all the way to the nature of reality itself. And it also touches upon what truths are sort of hidden versus what's revealed.
Yes, that's an interesting passage. It's quite culturally specific in its examples, but the principle is broader.
What does it say is hidden?
It lists women Brahmin mantras, which were often secret priestly knowledge and wrong view, as things that are hidden and not radiant.
And revealed.
The moon, the sun, and the Dhamma Vinaya proclaimed by the Tathagata, the Buddhist teachings and monastic discipline. These are revealed and radiant.
Open for all to see and investigate.
Exactly. It raises an important question for us, maybe. How do we perceive and engage with truth? What do we allow to remain obscured, perhaps by secrecy or misunderstanding? And what do we actively try to bring into the light of understanding?
That's a good question. And thinking about personal growth again, there's that simple but really effective analogy about anger, likened to scratches.
Oh yes, the 3 types of scratches. Very relatable.
The first is the stone scratch.
Right. That represents anger that lasts a long, long time. Deeply ingrained, hard to remove, like scratching stone.
Then the earth scratch.
That anger doesn't linger quite so long. Like a scratch in the dirt, it's there for a while, but eventually smooths over.
But the ideal
Is the water scratch. This is the person who, even when spoken to harshly or unpleasantly, reconciles quickly. They agree, they let it go, the anger disappears almost immediately, like a line drawn on water.
That highlights such different capacities for emotional resilience and forgiveness, doesn't it? A spectrum of how we hold on to or let go of negativity.
A very practical measure of inner freedom, in a way.
Which leads us naturally towards the path to the ultimate goal. And this seems grounded in some universal truths.
Yes. 3 truths, the texts say, stand whether Buddhas appear in the world or not. Buddhas simply awaken to them and reveal them to others.
They discover them, they don't invent them.
Exactly. And these are fundamental insights about existence itself.
What are they?
First, all conditioned things are impermanent. Anything that arises due to causes and conditions will eventually cease.
Nothing lasts.
Second, all conditioned things are suffering, meaning they are inherently unsatisfactory, unable to provide lasting happiness because of that impermanence. Dukkha.
Okay.
And third, all phenomena are non-self. Ana. There's no permanent, unchanging core or soul within any phenomenon, including ourselves.
Impermanence, suffering, non-self. Anicca, dukkha, anatta. The 3 marks of existence.
So cornerstones of this understanding.
And the texts seem very clear about differentiating this path from, well, deceptive teachings.
Very clear. They explicitly contrast the view that there is no action, no doing, no effort, a kind of fatalism with the Buddhist teaching.
Which emphasizes
Action, doing, and effort. Intentional action, karma, is central. All Buddhas, it says, teach this.
and that other view, the no-effort view.
One specific teacher associated with it, Macaulay Gosala, is described in really strong terms as a human net.
A human net, meaning
Catching people, entangling them in a view that leads to harm and suffering for many because it denies personal responsibility and the power of effort. It actively misleads people away from the path.
wow. That underscores the critical importance of intentional action and diligent effort in the spiritual path. It's not passive.
Not at all, which is why the teachings also identify 3 essential accomplishments needed.
We heard about accomplishments in morality, mind, and view before. Is this different?
It's related, but perhaps a summary. Faith or confidence in the path, morality, ethical conduct, and wisdom, understanding reality. Sada, sila, panya.
Faith, morality, wisdom.
And correspondingly, 3 kinds of growth. Growth in faith, growth in morality, and growth in wisdom. These are the core areas for development.
Okay. There's also that wonderful analogy comparing a monk to a warrior.
Yes, comparing their key skills. A skilled warrior, it says, has 3 qualities.
How are they?
They shoot far, they hit the target accurately, and they can pierce a large body.
Okay. Standard archery skills. How does that translate to a monk?
Quite profound. To shoot far, for a monk, means seeing all phenomena forms, feelings, perceptions, mental formations, consciousness, whether past, present, future, internal, external, gross, or subtle. Seeing it all as not mine, not I, not myself.
Ah, applying the non-self insight universally, that's shooting far.
Exactly, releasing the grip of self on everything.
Hmm.
Then, to hit the target,
What's the bullseye?
understanding the Four Noble Truths, suffering, its origin, its cessation, and the path, knowing reality clearly.
Okay. And piercing a large body.
That means destroying the great mass of ignorance,
Okay.
avijja, cutting through delusion completely.
Wow. So a monk with those qualities.
Is considered worthy of the highest reverence, an unsurpassed field of merit for the world, someone whose practice benefits everyone.
That's a powerful reframing of spiritual practice. There are also analogies using horses, right, to describe different types of monks.
Yes, based on 3 qualities of excellent horses: speed, beauty, and stature or size.
How does that apply to monks?
Speed, java sampano, refers to their spiritual progress, how quickly they understand the Four Noble Truths or attain high stages like non-returner status or even full arhatship.
Okay, inner development speed. What about beauty?
Beauty, vasasampano, refers to their ability to explain the doctrine, especially the deeper aspects like abhidhamma and vinaya, the philosophy and discipline, making it clear and accessible to others, their skill in teaching.
So eloquent and insightful. And stature.
Stature or size, Rohapriyan Hasampano, relates somewhat surprisingly to their ability to receive material requisites easily: robes, alms, food, lodging, medicine, things needed to support the practice.
Interesting. So it acknowledges practical aspects too.
And it illustrates different combinations. Some monks might be fast internally but not great teachers or well supported. Others might be fast and beautiful, quick progress and good teachers, but maybe lack material support.
And the ideal.
The one who is fast, beautiful, and stately. Swift progress, clear teaching, and well supported. This shows that spiritual excellence can have different dimensions, different ways of manifesting.
It's quite nuanced.
Yeah.
So ultimately, what qualities lead to the final attainment, the ultimate goal?
The texts synthesize it again. A monk reaches the ultimate goal, ultimate security from bondage, ultimate holy life through 3 core things:
Which are?
unsurpassed moral conduct, sila, unsurpassed concentration, samadhi, and unsurpassed wisdom, manya.
The 3 trainings again. Morality, concentration, wisdom.
The core path. It also mentions the miracles, again, psychic power, effective instruction, and powerful teaching culminating in right view, right knowledge, and right liberation.
It really is a comprehensive roadmap, isn't it? From the basic ethical principles right through to the most subtle mind training and final liberation.
It is, and it keeps reiterating that detailed connection between our actions, body, speech, and mind, and our future destinations, cause and effect.
And it emphasizes that even just encouraging or approving of an unwholesome action has the same negative result as doing it yourself.
Right, and likewise, encouraging or rejoicing in wholesome actions leads to good outcomes. It really stresses this shared responsibility, this interconnectedness of our actions and intentions.
And a very direct system of, well, moral accountability.
Absolutely. And what's remarkable throughout all of this is a consistent emphasis on personal responsibility and internal transformation as the path. It's about changing your own mind, your own heart.
That's the key to well-being for yourself and others.
That's the clear message, which is
Yeah.
why to really overcome all the defilements, passion, hatred, delusion, anger, resentment, envy, avarice, deceit, conceit, negligence, all of them,
Yes. How do you do that?
to fully understand them, destroy them, abandon them, relinquish them, 3 specific advanced practices of mind training are highlighted as crucial.
Okay, what are these?
They are emptiness concentration, sunyata samadhi.
Focusing on the lack of inherent self.
Yes, seeing the emptiness in all phenomena. Second, signless concentration, anamita samadhi.
Signless.
Letting go of all the mental signs, the perceptions, the labels we attach to the world that cause clinging.
Okay. And third?
Undirected concentration, apachihita samadhi, where the mind isn't fixed on any particular object or goal within the conditioned world. It's moving towards ultimate freedom.
Emptiness, signless, undirected concentration.
These 3 are presented as key gateways to the final, unconditioned liberation, powerful tools for dismantling the roots of suffering.
What an incredible journey we've taken today, really plunging into this profound ancient wisdom, exploring happiness, suffering, the critical role of the mind.
And the very practical paths to genuine liberation.
It feels like these teachings, though ancient, offer such a timeless framework for understanding ourselves, our interactions, everything.
Absolutely. encouraging mindful living, ethical conduct, seeing these not just as good things to do, but as the actual foundation for true freedom and well-being.
So thinking about everything we've unpacked today, guarding the mind like a well-roofed house, understanding the real sources of gratification and danger, the different paths people take, here's a thought to leave you with.
Okay.
How might consciously applying just one of these distinctions, maybe noticing the asada and adinava in something you desire, or checking the roof of your mind, or practicing the water scratch response, how might applying just one change your daily interactions and perceptions starting right now?